Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stripped by Sia. I almost said my YouTube name. Stripped by Sia, your podcast for strippers, sex workers, and all the fancy naked people in between. I am your host, Steph Sia. I am a digital content creator. I am also a former sugar baby and a stripper based here in lovely Pacific Northwest, Vancouver, Canada, and I do this podcast every single week to give you news, education on the sex work industry, whether it's anything to do with porn or camming or strippers or dominatrices, which is today, and other fun related topics in relation to sex work and the destigmatization of it. So, this whole week is all going to be about another dominatrix episode. There's so many episodes of dominatrixes, but I think everyone's so interested in it, and there's so many different parts of it. There's a lot of moving parts, and we're going to be speaking specifically this week on humiliation, some slave work, different types of relationships that can come from it, and from these very specified working relationships, I want to say. And we're also going to be talking a little bit and addressing the recent OnlyFans controversy that happened a couple of weeks ago. And a couple of weeks ago, because of the time of recording, it's going to be released in a couple of weeks. And also going to be talking about another platform if you are still looking to diversify. We are also going to be talking exclusively about the platform AVN Stars. So I am bringing on today's guest, who goes by the name Miss Quail Avara, who is joining me today all the way from blank. Insert where you're from, because I think you have an accent.
I do?
I think so. Where are you from? Are you from the southern United States, or where are you from?
You're spot on. I'm in Georgia.
There we go. I was like, there's a little bit of a little southern twang, and I love it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to chat with you about everything.
Well, it's so funny because people around here, I don't have an accent compared to everybody else. Compared to my husboy, I have no accent at all.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
weird when like, you have an accent. What?
It probably sounds like I am the one with an accent.
You don't sound like you have an accent either.
Okay, good. Cool. Never mind then. But, Mistress Quail, I am so excited to have you onto the show today. We were kind of chatting back and forth on Instagram about random tangents about, oh gosh, I think the original conversation was about relationships. I
think so, yeah.
Yeah, way back a few weeks ago. And then we were connecting together on the recent OnlyFans debacle that happened. And you're like, let's talk about another alternative platform that, doesn't get as much love as, say, OnlyFans. So we're going to be talking about AVN Stars later, because I've heard of the platform. I've never personally used it myself. And if I can use this as a platform to kind of help other people make decisions about what platforms they want to diversify in, then I'm here for it. So
trust me, you will want to go to AVN after this conversation. I think it's the best platform, but I'm very biased, so.
I'm excited. I can't wait to hear about it. Like, are you an AVN Stars ambassador undercover?
That's actually something my husband joked about. It's like, if they heard you talking about this, would they sponsor you? And I'm like, how would they sponsor me? I don't know. But no, not.
AVN Stars, if you're listening, get in on this.
No, but it'd be cool.
It would be super cool. But what's even cooler is, like, I want to hear all about you, because I don't know too much about you, except that you're a dominatrix based in Georgia, USA. And I want to know, like, who you are and what it is you do, and feel free to define yourself in your own words and on your own terms. And go.
All right. So, hello. I am Mistress Quail Avara. I consider myself to be an online dominatrix. I have been in the BDSM lifestyle for about 4 years and been in the online sex work realm almost 4 years, about 3.5. I specialize in digital content creation, in, oh gosh, I gotta think what else.
List it out.
Yeah, I did content creation. I make customs. I work with slaves online only. I don't have any physical slaves except my husboy, which I've mentioned him a million times. I know we will get to him.
Yes, excited.
Of course, I'm on AVN Stars, which you will love. And I recently just got on All Things Worn, selling some worn wares, but mainly digital, believe it or not.
Oh. Okay.
We could talk about that too a little bit. I love that site, but
yeah.
I mean, if we have the time, that's fine.
Oh no, we're definitely going to be talking about it all.
All right.
Okay, where can we get started? Because basically, you said you've been in the kink community for about 4 years. What was your introduction? Did you have like your own kind of curiosity around it, or is it something you were always like drawn to, or what was your introductory moment?
Yeah, nothing onto it at all. I was a very sheltered person growing up.
What?
Like, I didn't see porn until I was 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know exactly what masturbation was until I was maybe 16 or 17.
Oh, my gosh, really?
Yeah, most people, if they know me and compare to what I do now, they're like, wait, what happened?
That's a total 180. Oh my gosh. What? Okay, so. Oh my gosh. Well, so is this because like mainly you possibly came from a more conservative background, or like being in the Bible Belt, that kind of area? Yeah. Like, does that have anything to do with it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, all the things.
Yeah.
So how does a girl like you find herself in like the complete deep end?
Well, I was about 23. I had a friend that was in the lifestyle.
Okay.
And he ended up introducing it to me, being like, you would make a good dom. And I was like, the heck is that? Well, a few years prior, I was dating a guy that was like, oh, I expect you to learn to be a dom. And I'm like, the heck is that? Kind of dabbled in research a little bit. And then, of course, that magic year at 23, I was introduced to FetLife, and I was told, hey, they have a kink called pet play. You would make a great handler. So that's what I started with. I was on FetLife. I'm still there. I don't care to be there. And and also made a Tumblr back when Tumblr actually cared about porn stars and fetish, all that.
Yes.
Like 7 months after that, I happened to see that these girls are selling their sexy wares through Tumblr. And I was like, huh? I can take this new hobby that I freaking love because I really loved the power thing. Mm-hmm. And I can make off of that? That's cool. So, yeah, ever since then, I've been doing what I'm doing. Obviously, gotten better as I've gone along. I don't have my Tumblr anymore because, screw you, Tumblr. But I'm pretty good where I'm at now.
Wow, so cool. So it's been a total whirlwind for you, I would say.
Now I can't see without it.
Yeah, no, this is so wild. Like, when you were first hearing, like, like your friends that were in the lifestyle saying that, you'd be a great dominatrix, did you understand at that point, like, what that meant? Or, like, did you even know what a dominatrix was? Like, what kind of research? No.
I'll put it to you this way. When I saw my first inky porno, it was a simple kid and play video, meaning a girl, she's naked, wearing cat ears, her limbs are bound, so it looks like she's walking on all fours. Okay. I panicked when I saw it. So I was like, is she okay? That looks painful. What is going on? And now I can look back and laugh because I'm like, while I wasn't buying somebody's limbs, pet play is one of my niches. So I quite enjoy it.
Very cool. And we're going to get into all of the things later, for sure.
So many.
Yeah, so many. For sure. I want to also know, like, when you were hearing these terms for the first time and you were starting to conduct your own research to kind of familiarize yourself with terms, like, where were you conducting your research mainly? Like, were you just Googling something? Were you reading any subreddits? Or, like, How did you learn more about this world?
Google is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
And then as I got more into it, I'm definitely not on Reddit. I still can't understand it for the life of me. But Google mainly, little bit of FetLife. I don't really care much for FetLife. I've got books. I've got online books. From just dabbling around, looking around online. When I was on Tumblr, kind of like, okay, this is what this is. Okay. I have a science degree, so I'm very research based. So it's to a T.
Interesting. Yeah. So like, as you were finding out more and more about this lifestyle, were you then curious? Were you then like, how did you then end up doing all this and getting more so involved?
That's a good question, because when I was dabbling in it, I was just like, I don't know. Like, that was at the time when the guy I was dating then suggested I role play as Velma, and I thought that was the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Like, oh boy, this is now the most tame thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's a new one.
But I don't really know exactly what caused kind of the switch in my mind. I guess, like, the more I looked at it and the more I was learning about myself being dominant, having, like, this power, because, I mean, kind of throughout my life, I didn't really feel like I had much control of things.
Oh.
And not going to go into that, really. But, and then as a dom, it's like, I have this control. Not only do I have this control, I can put it on other people and they like it. Because I enjoy giving people things that make them feel good. And it's like, okay, doing this makes other people feel good, makes me feel good, everybody's happy. And then when you add a monetary value to it, I get extra happy.
Oh, yeah.
And so everyone's happy.
Yeah, definitely when there's a monetary value added to it, you know, we're all kind of happy people, happy campers, I would say.
Like, sure, you want me to yell at you and say you're a pathetic loser? Okay, give me my money. All right, you're happy? Okay, have a great day.
I love it. I love it. Like, when you were first dabbling it, were you just limited to pet play, or were you dabbling in like a variety of things within the BDSM community?
It was mainly pet play, because that was the first thing I heard, and I was like, okay, first thing. So I was mainly looking up how to be a female handler, which I will tell you, actually very hard to find, because it mostly talked about male handlers, and especially most of the research I did was in the gay leather community. Nothing wrong with that at all. Love my gay leather guys.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't much for women. I mean, I have a book, it's called Woof.
Yep.
And it's basically how to be a handler from the gay leather perspective. And I'm like, you know, anybody, any gender, any sexuality, whatever, could benefit from this if they're into pet play.
Totally. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's a really, really cool point that you brought up, because I never even thought about it, that there wasn't a lot of women representation in that corner of the BDSM world.
Oh, yeah. Like, trust me, I went to Munches, I used to, and I had a male dom. I was the only femdom there. It was all male doms, female slaves, and then there was me.
Oh, wow.
I ended up having a man look at me flat out say that because, you know, I had stuff going on at the time, I can't be a dom. What? I'm not a femdom.
What? How can someone else say that?
Well, I told the guy who ran the Munch, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to talk to him. This guy kind of was a little creepy anyway. And I mean, back then, I had a lot more issues with self-confidence, with anxiety, because I mean, I live with anxiety, but I'm a lot better about it now.
Good.
Like, you know, if I were where I am now, I would have laughed at him, been like, well, fuck you, but I mean, at the time I didn't. That actually weighed on me for the longest time, where I felt like I wasn't good enough. And it took me, I mean, it's been a journey, but it's taken me a while for me to be like, you know, I am good enough as I am. It doesn't matter if I have background things going on at home. Everybody has background issues going on at home.
Yes.
That doesn't make you less dom or any less sub if you're in the submissive realm.
That's really interesting. Like, do you find that your work within the BDSM community and within the kink community, do you think that has anything to do with helping you build your confidence, and especially in your role as a dominatrix?
Actually, yeah, it does.
Yeah, tell us.
Oh, of course. I mean, we all know, if we're all in the sex community, we all have a persona. Who actually uses their real identity? If you do, I mean, how do you do it? Good luck, whatever. So I have this dominant persona, and as I was growing more and more into it, because now, I mean, it's pretty much melded into my life, but it wasn't always. Mm-hmm. So it's, okay, how would my persona act in this situation? Well, she's a boss-ass bitch. She is confident, and she will kick you in the face if she wants to.
I love it.
So, and I mean, the fact that I wear a lot of black and black leather definitely helps. I mean, I'm looking, I have 5-inch goth leather platforms. You've probably seen it on my Instagram or Twitter, or both.
Oh, yes. All of the above.
Those boots, they could probably hurt somebody.
It can be a weapon.
I've had requests from people being like, can we meet up in person? You can, like, crush my balls. And I'm like, dude, I don't do physical yet. Mm-hmm. And you're on the other side of the freaking world. How does that work?
Tell me something about leather. I know that leather is like a big thing in the kink community. Where does that come from? What's the origin? And like, I don't want to be stereotyping or anything, but when I think of like a dominatrix, I always think of either leather or latex.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Tell us about that.
Nice. Okay. But anyway, I don't know a whole lot about the origins. From what I've heard in the past, it actually came from the gay community. Mm-hmm. That's where leather.
Yes.
With gay men, the leather clubs, and all that, and like with motorcycle gangs, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You know, they all wear leather, and then it has branched out to where, you know, it's not just gay men that wear it now; it's straight men and can't talk. Gay women, you know, all the sexualities, all the genders, we can all enjoy some leather.
Absolutely, and plus it feels good too.
I actually have a love-hate relationship with it. I get hot really easily, so I'm just like, I'm done. But I love it so much. Like, one of my looks, I call it the commander. I'm wearing a commander hat, leather shirt, leather pants, leather boots. And I have a video on my Instagram where I'm standing in front of a fan singing to it because I was shooting. And I was so freaking hot. I have to turn my hands off when I shoot because you can hear the...
Yeah, the sound.
I was camming once, and this guy's like, why do I hear a clicking sound? It was my ceiling fan. I'm like, seriously?
That's awesome. Called out. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was my regular guys, and it's like, screw you. Fine.
Well, I think, like, leather in terms of clothing is definitely hot, for sure, like, and temperature-wise.
It's hot in all the ways.
In all the ways. But I mean, like, equipment-wise, I think leather is great. It feels great on the skin. Feels quick. I mean, if you're doing any kind of in-person work, which you will hopefully maybe in the future might do.
I would like to, yeah, because amazingly around here, there's not a lot of kink stuff. Oh. I know, like in our capital city, there is one dungeon that's nearby. I've been there before, 1763. It's wonderful. Mm. But really not much of anything. And that's part of why I want to open my own dungeon one day. And I like the idea of, you know, if there's other online doms like me that need a place to shoot or to do photo shoots, it's like I can rent it out. It's like, here's a place, a safe place for you to do your shoots. Just don't break my stuff, please.
Yeah. Don't break my shit.
You break it, you buy it.
Yeah, and that's equipment is not cheap either. So
it widely depends. Like, I'm actually, like I said, I have my iPad propped up on my kink drawer, a whole dresser drawer, like 3 drawers full of stuff, and I'm looking at it. I've got a bag of wooden clothespins I got from the Dollar Tree. I've got I've got rope that I got from the hardware store, a leash that I actually won in a giveaway years ago. Just random bits and pieces of things that, I mean, not necessarily have to come from kinky, sexy shops or whatever.
Right.
Like, I have a dog leash, and I have a collar in here from a pet store. So.
Literally, I love it. And then that's such a good idea, too, because then sometimes, I mean, like, I've had so many conversations with other dominatrixes, but it can be quite an investment, but, like, from this perspective, totally accessible.
Like, okay, I have a riding crop. You see those all over sex shops.
Yes.
Go to a local feed store. They have them for horseback riding.
Yes, they do.
I got mine for like $15.
I love it. This is so useful for anyone listening and wanting to get into dom work.
You don't have to spend every dollar you have. Like, okay, a lot of my leather stuff my husboy gave me because he has a leather fetish. That's also partially how I got into leather. It's because of him.
Okay.
For me.
I have so many questions and there's so many different avenues. So why don't we go talk a little bit about virtual dom work, and then we can go into wares, like selling used wares, and then we'll talk about your husboy.
Alrighty. So what do you want to know about virtual?
Yeah. So why virtual, and how does that work in the online sphere?
Okay, so I did virtual because I didn't want anybody knowing that I was doing this. And in my mind, virtual to me was safer.
Yes.
Where I'm not saying this to diss off strippers, escorts, the ones that deal with actual people. I don't know how you guys do it. You're amazing. I personally don't think I could because I don't like the idea of getting touched without permission or getting robbed or any of these horrible things you hear happening. So I'm like, the internet is a bit safer because I can hide behind a screen. And I just hit a drawer. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I can be behind this screen. I have this persona. There's pictures and videos out of me, yes. But you can't physically touch me. Right. So I have my own limits. I can shoot wherever I want to. I'm not required to go to anybody. That's what I like about it. It's just the safety. Safety's huge to me.
Yeah, that is a huge thing for sure. And also really important, and amidst everything else that's going on in the world globally. That's, that's a huge factor as well. But yeah, I hear you. And also it's like super convenient to do in the comfort of your own home, your own hours. Well,
and I'm actually in a Twitter group with a group of AVN creators. And when the pandemic happened and everybody's moving online, some of the girls in the group do physical in-person sessions. Mm-hmm. And they said that the problem they were having is, they're so used to doing these in-person sessions, and now they're trying to figure out the technology. Like, how do you promote on Twitter and Instagram? How do you do these online sessions? I'm sitting here like, welcome to Virtual Island.
Yeah. Welcome to 2021.
I don't blame them. More power to them that they can do the physical sessions, because let's be honest, those pay a lot better. But, that was the thing, was just like they were struggling with that. And there's some that did physical and they were virtual. So they at least had the idea of what they could be doing.
Right. Yeah. That can be tricky too. And sometimes people find it hard to make that leap. Or at least when I was speaking to people last year in various forms of sex work, trying to patch over that gap in terms of okay, I was doing a lot of in-person sessions for whatever type of sex work that it was, and trying to, create an online brand is very time-consuming.
I remember seeing a video of this girl who says she's a stripper, and I remember something she said was, now I'm giving lap dances online through OnlyFans. And I'm like, how are you able to do that? Because, as a stripper, obviously, you're going up to people, you're doing your dance, you're doing your thing. Mm-hmm. You can't do that on a screen.
No. It's a little different.
Pressure screen, you go for it, but that's not really going to work the same.
No, we all had to kind of pivot a lot last year. Even this year, too, with all the other things that are going on, which we'll get to later, but that's really, really cool. I think virtual is the way to go.
Oh, yeah.
I also wanted to speak to you about like used wares. I know we both are a fan of Dalma Rosa. Shout out to Dalma, who was on the show earlier. Yeah, last season she was on. She's lovely. She is hilarious. If you guys haven't listened to her podcast, the Panty Selling Podcast, go listen to it.
I read your on Instagram too.
Yes, she is excellent. She's such a good resource. But like, how did you get into selling your used wares?
Well, I can thank Dalma for this one, actually. I was listening to her podcast, and I mean, something I've always told people was to, research and listen and learn from other things. So if you're a dom, learn from strippers, from escorts, from panty sellers. There's stuff you can learn from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't going to do it for the longest time because I'm like, look, I already have my videos I've been doing for 4 years. I've got my subscription site. And I was like, you know what? Let's just jump in. And the first one I chose was All Things Worn solely because as soon as I followed Dalma on Instagram, within 2 seconds, I get All Things Worn is following you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Same here.
So I was like, okay. So I hopped on. And it's like, well, I've got a bunch of clothes in my closet I don't want anymore. So, and actually, ironically, as we speak, I am currently wearing a bra for a client that's going out tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. I'm so here for it.
Yeah. But most of my sales are actually through custom videos.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like, so try to explain that. So like, do you do a video then and then ship out whatever piece that is you're wearing from that video? Like a bundle package?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
So I haven't had somebody ask for the wear and a video at the same time. Like, if it's a wear, I'll wear the item. Each day I'll send a picture being like, hey, I'm wearing this. And of course they're like, it's so hot. And then, it's on its way. I actually have a bra on its way to Canada right now.
Yes.
So, I think it's going to Toronto, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's usually how that worked. For the custom videos, like, I'll talk to them. They'll be like, okay, I want this, this, and this. Give them my price. I'll create the video and send it to them through WeTransfer.
Oh, yeah.
Which you directly email that clip to them. They have 7 days to download that file, because otherwise, if they don't, it disappears.
Yeah, and it's gone.
And it's like, people are like, no, I don't want guys downloading my stuff. And I'm like, well, how the heck are you sending anything? Like, go ahead, download it. You bought it.
Yep.
Like, it has my watermark in there, so good luck trying to resell it if that's your plan. So, yeah, and I guess if I ever had a, here, I want to buy this bra you wore in this video, I'd just send the video and be like, okay, I'm wearing the bra, it's on its way.
Yeah.
So I have items that I'm like, I wore, like I have one, like some of my bras I wore in what I called a giantess boob worship video. I call it the bra tour.
Okay.
Because I'm in there, the camera's close to my tits, and, I'm just showing off my bras.
I love it. That's so great.
I consider myself a lazy content creator.
Don't we all have lazy moments, though, as creators? Like, it's really exhausting to do, like, a video every single day. Or, like, I don't work that way. I'm like, I'm going to film just one time. We're going to do a bunch of stuff that one time. And then I'm going to splice it up. And I'm going to, like, schedule things out that way. I mean, that's the way that I do things.
Well, and the wonderful thing about fetish is anything's a fetish.
Yes.
So one day, I was like, I'm going to do a lipstick fetish. I'm going to put all the try on all my lipstick on my face, not at the same time. Somebody likes this. I love denim pants. I'm going to wear my jeans and have it zoomed on my ass and just kind of dance around. Because people love this stuff.
People love stuff. Exactly. Like, people are into different things. And, like, I got so many requests to do episodes on specific types of fetishes so often. And I'm just like, I didn't know that was a fetish. But then, again, as you said, anything goes.
Like, I think I joked with Dalma. I was like, yeah, you see your kitchen cabinet, that's probably a fetish for someone. You see the weeds in your backyard, that's probably a fetish. I've heard of a lesbian couple that they're like, yeah, we're married to the moon and we're nature sexuals. We have sex with trees. It's like, okay.
Interesting.
Have fun. How do you do that?
How do you do that? I'm like wondering. I'm like, how do you do that? How does that work? Well, whatever floats your boat.
Not gonna judge, not gonna kink shame. I'm just, you have at it. Have fun.
Totally.
As long as you're not getting hurt or someone else isn't getting hurt, then go for it.
Well, speaking of which, like, I wanted to talk to you about the art of humiliation because, like, it can be really a difficult concept for people to understand, for people to kind of grasp, or, like, if someone's just new at being a dominatrix, they think right away, oh, I have to humiliate this person. Can you speak a little bit about your relationship with humiliation and how you incorporate that in your line of sex work?
Yeah, sure. And really quick side tangent. Doma's website, SW Rolodex, I actually offer femdom training. So if anyone needed a mentorship from me, they can go on there, purchase a training, and I can help them with humiliation.
Oh, perfect. So, yeah. And we'll like mention that at the end of the show. Any kind of marketing stuff, we can do that right at the end. Forgot to mention that earlier.
But anyway, so humiliation. Look, like I said when I was on Doma's podcast, like most people, when they think of doms, they think, you know, they all are humiliation, they're all bitches, all this.
Mm-hmm.
There are nice, soft, nurturing doms that won't humiliate. There are doms that will. I'm definitely one that will.
Yes.
First thing I'll always do, like if some guy's like, yeah, I want you to humiliate me. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to be humiliated about? What do you like? Because it's obviously I can't read his mind.
No.
Like, I go humiliating him by like, oh, your cock is small. And he's like, no, I didn't like that. I want you to humiliate my face. It's like, well, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, you need some kind of direction, right?
My favorite to do, especially if I'm on cam, if a guy wants me to humiliate him and he's like, oh, I want you to humiliate me about anything. I'm like, you know, it's pathetic that you paid a woman online to humiliate you.
I like that.
It works every time.
Take note, people listening. Take note.
Just humiliate him about the fact that he's paying you to be mean to him. It's easy. Yeah, always ask what they like, because you can't know. And you don't want... I mean, obviously, BDSM, you are consensually hurting people's feelings, but consensually.
Yes.
You want to hurt their feelings and, like, emotionally scar them or damage them. Fortunately, I've not had that experience, but I know it's happened with other people. And you just gotta be careful. You don't want a guy to go all depressed and whatever because you humiliated him for the wrong reason.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, that's so important. Like, I know that you haven't experienced that yourself, which is a great example of, like, what a good dom you are, but can you tell us of maybe some of your peers' experiences about, like, some of their clients that have left, you know, really hurt or, like, even in some cases suicidal?
Well, that's the thing. Most of the doms I know don't do that. Are ethical doms, too.
Good. Good.
The only thing I could think of, it probably was emotionally painful. This one dom on Twitter, I can't remember her name now, but she's extremely controversial. None of us like her. She put a picture of a slave she had where she beat the hell out of him. Like, he looked like he got thrown down a rocky mountain, bruises and black eyes and everything.
Oh my God.
Like, and she put progress pictures of him healing. It took him over a week for all the bruising to heal.
Wow.
And she was like, oh, he consented to it, but we're like, there's a fine line.
There is a fine line. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll beat a sub, but if he doesn't want bruising, I'm not gonna do it. Totally. And if he wants bruising, I'm not going that far because I'm sorry, I have morals.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I remember, like, in one of the other episodes I was talking about, I think with Link's Chase, and we were talking about responsible domination. We were also talking about, for example, like, cock and ball torture. Like, you don't want to be doing any kind of, like, irreversible damage to anybody.
Like, I've seen women, like, doing cock and ball torture videos, and I'm just like, how is his testicle not exploded yet?
Yeah.
I've tried a little bit of CBT myself with my slave, but I know he's not huge into pain, so we don't take it very far.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a guy wanted me to crush his balls. Like, there's a way to do it and not literally do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can put your foot down, but put most of your weight in your heel.
Yes. Yes.
So, because, I mean, you don't want to actually hurt them. Because, one, that's a weird trip to the hospital. Two, if you are a physical dom, you could get sued, or you could even have the cops called on you for that.
Yeah, you got to be careful. And I'm always worried about, like, anyone interested in becoming a dominatrix and not realizing a lot of the consequences that can happen, the legality that can go behind it as well. Again, like, there's that fine line that you're walking across.
Well, as a virtual dom, you can't beat the heck out of them. If they beat themselves up, that's their own fault, not yours. But, you know, you still got to be careful with, don't make them crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Or suicidal or anything like that, which, fortunately, I've not seen any cases of it, but, I mean, I've heard of it happening.
Yeah, I've also heard of it, too. Like, there's, like, aftercare is also equally important.
Yes.
Right? So important. So...
Which in the virtual world is a little harder because most of the time the guys are like, you know, after they buy that video or buy whatever, they're like, okay, I'm done. And they disappear off the face of the earth. Yeah. So it's like, exactly, can you do aftercare? Some of my guys, if they're repeat customers, I mean, they'll come back to me and we'll just have conversation, or they're like, okay, I'm ready for my next thing. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit trickier on the online front for sure in trying to administer that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's tricky. You mentioned slave a couple times, and I'm curious to hear about your slave. So, moment
we've all been waiting for.
Yes, can you share? I'm like have a big smile on my face right now.
All right, because I know I've talked to you about it before, the lovely listeners who don't know.
Yes.
So I have my one physical slave. He is my husboy. He played Omega. Because I've had people on live stream when I mention it be like, who's the slave Omega? That's my husband. Thanks, guys. About 3 years ago, I used to have a slave application where people could apply to be my slave.
Cool.
He applied. And when I had my application, they have to pay the application fee and tribute me.
Oh, so, wow, double pay.
The first thing that got me interested about him was he tributed. Okay, great. And then, you know, I looked over his application. I'm like, okay, yeah, I could work with this. And I was like, you know, I am just virtual only. I don't work physically. And he's like, okay, that's fine. So, yeah, then I accepted him as my slave on October 13th, 2018. That's what we call our Domiversary.
Domiversary? I love it. So much fun.
Like, for a few months, you know, we're working online, doing our thing, whatever. At the time, I was still dating somebody. And, of course, that guy knew what I was doing. That guy and I broke off. And then December of that year, it's an interesting slope. Look, I ended up falling for Omega, and I was like, wait, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild.
And I mean, he said that he was falling for me, and I'm like, well, of course you are, because you're a slave and I'm your goddess.
Right?
But wait, the tables are turning. Oh God, help me. And then I learned we lived 10 minutes away from each other at the time. Neither one of us knew that.
Oh my God. No way.
I don't know if Canada has Waffle House.
We do have a Waffle House here.
We publicly met at a Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
The Waffle House is now our special place. The one Waffle House we went to is like very special to us.
Aww.
He was wonderful, bought me breakfast, brought me gifts from my wish list, even gave me some art because he's an artist.
Oh, wow, cool.
He filled up my gas tank before I went to work. It was a good time.
Okay, wow, this is so cool. So, like, how long was he your slave before things started to turn romantically?
Like I said, from October to December.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, quick.
I'm not the one to fall for people really quick. And I was about to say, what do you mean was my slave? He still is.
There we go. True.
And I mean, yeah, a few years later, we're about to celebrate our first wedding anniversary on Halloween.
Ooh.
So, oh yeah.
Congrats on such a date too. So fun.
Oh, absolutely. We chose it for that reason. I mean, I wore a black wedding dress, my platform boots. It was a great time.
Oh my God. Well, congrats. That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. And this is so cool because, like, yeah, I remember, like, our first conversation together, we were kind of bonding over this because that's something similar that happened with my current boyfriend because he was my foot slave before, and then he upgraded to be my slave, and then now we're in a relationship together. But it's the difference between your dynamic and mine is that, like, the slave complex, like, doesn't really play out that much anymore. So that's kind of like how our relationship has kind of changed and grown over the past, like, year and a bit. So, but yours is definitely still your slave.
I mean, like, we consider ourselves a 24/7 dynamic. But I mean, it's not like we do scenes and dress up every single day. We're both still adults and have adult responsibilities.
Totally.
Like, I mean, he has a chain with a padlock around his neck. That's my collar for him. He's got a play collar. I have a necklace that I'll wear that I actually, when we got married, instead of exchanging rings, we exchanged necklaces / collar. So, I mean, we have little reminders of that dynamic every day. Or if I'm like, hey, I need you to go do this. Yes, ma'am. And it's like, that's my boy. Or he'll often be called boy.
Yes.
Yep. We're not doing a scene every day or doing, like, what people would think a 24/7 dynamic is. I don't have him kneeling naked at the door when I walk in. I'm usually home before him anyway. But we have those little things we do that, you know, still remind that, you know, we are still dom and slave in our everyday life.
I like that. It's all about balance because, like, as you said, like, I feel like people have this, like, really distinct perception of what they think a 24/7 slave would be or what, like, a slave complex would be. And, like, when those things, like, turn into relationships and stuff, I feel like people just have this image in their head. But it's, I don't know, I would say more or less a pretty normal relationship in some aspects, like in the mundane parts of things. But,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like any other relationship.
I mean, just because I'm dominant, I mean, I still cook, I still clean. I wouldn't trust him with cooking. No, I'm kidding, I would.
I would not for mine. God, no.
I still do domestic things. I'm still his dominant, even if I'm the one doing laundry or dishes. It's like, you know, we're still two adults running a household together.
Yes. Yeah.
So that doesn't change. He's still who he is. I'm still who I am. We just have this extra thing, which we've talked about how the great thing about being in a dom-slave relationship, in a romantic relationship, is the fact that we already have trust and communication built in because of our BDSM relationship. So that just acts as a strong base.
Yes. Yeah, totally. That makes a really, really great point. I never thought about that way.
I bring wonders.
Always. So, I mean, of course, like another chunk of the conversation I want to talk about today, amidst all the recent OnlyFans controversy, which I guess by the time of this airing would have happened a couple weeks ago now. So there was a big ban or proposed ban that was supposed to happen on October 1st. Where OnlyFans is going to ban explicit content, and then the next day they changed, they rescinded their decision and changed it to suspension. So again, who knows? Maybe by the time this airs, they're gonna renege on that decision. Who knows? Like, there's very little information about what's happening with that current climate around that, but I know that a big thing was creators being concerned about, okay, we can't put all our eggs in a basket. We can't just survive as OnlyFans. But there's so many platforms to choose from. And I wanted to speak to you about the platform of your choice, which would be AVN Stars. And I wanted to learn more about it. So it's time to chat about that part. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
You have no idea how many times I rolled my eyes when you talked about OnlyFans. It's like, oh, good go. I hate OnlyFans with a passion.
Okay, well, you had tried OnlyFans before and you didn't like it. Was it before or after AVN Stars?
Both. Because I recently tried it again 3 weeks ago. I deleted it as soon as OnlyFans put out that thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I didn't get off of it. I don't know what it was. It didn't work for me, and I was like, yeah, screw it. But yes, I did try it long before AVN was a thing. Because AVN actually came up as a response to when OnlyFans got in trouble for tax evasion.
Right.
Around that time, AVN, like, for anybody who doesn't know, it stands for the Adult Video Network.
Yes.
It's an American company. You know, they do, like, porn, they have their AVN awards, all that. In response to OnlyFans having their tax evasion issues, where pretty much everyone's predicting OnlyFans was going to swan dive, AVN was like, here, AVN Stars. It's like OnlyFans, but a hell of a lot better. Come on.
Okay. I'm excited to hear all about AVN Stars. Like, how does it, because you've been on both platforms, how are the, like, can you compare a little bit about what OnlyFans has, what AVN has, or, like, you could just go ahead and focus on AVN if you want. Up to you. I'll let you take the floor.
OnlyFans sucks. But anyways. So they both have their subscription sites. That's what they both are. OnlyFans, you can have a free or a paid. AVN, you can technically have both. So I have a subscription for $10 a month. But people can follow me. And if I make posts that are free, they can see all of my free posts, but they can't see any of my posts for subscribers.
Oh.
Like, it'll show a caption, but it won't show you what the picture is.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, that's a really cool feature for sure.
So it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like having a paid and not at the same time.
Yeah.
And another thing, well, they both can do live streaming, but what I love with AVN, like I've done live streaming like on ManyVids for a while. I hate tokens with a passion.
Oh my gosh, me too.
AVN is in dollars. So if you got a tip for $20, you're getting $20. I mean, AVN also takes 20% just like OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But I don't care. It's like, they're a business. Go ahead and take my, like, out of my subscription, I get $8 and they get $2. It's like, that's fine. You can have my $2. If this means I have a platform where I can work and it's safe, take my 20%. I don't care. Heard of girls whining about that, being like, oh, we need to get just 10%, or this is awful. And it's like, girl, let me have a word with you. You're going to have to spend money to make money. That's how this works.
That's like any platform, though. We'll always take a cut.
Exactly.
Okay, so continue. So I'm hearing some cool similarities, but also some better features for sure.
AVN, you can have a clip store.
Oh, you can actually have a store for clips. So, okay.
Sell clips, you can sell photos, and you can sell audio.
Oh, this is all on the platform. There's no other like premium style membership. It's just like you sign up, you get access to all this.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm listening.
And like, obviously you price the videos however you want to. You can actually set it up where if you're a subscriber, you get these videos, they can download the videos and photos for free. You can set it that way or not. And if you're a follower, you still have to purchase them. So that's something you can do. I really like that feature. I know for mine, all subscribers can get any of my videos for free.
Oh, cool.
But followers can't. The clips, I don't know how well that's working right now. Some girls have better luck on it than others, but I like that I can do that. I can live stream. I can basically have a live stream site, a clip store, and a subscription site all in one place. Mm-hmm. And they just take 20%. And it's like, hell yeah. Because most clip stores take 40%.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, I could basically have 3 websites for only 20%. Okay, go ahead, take my money.
Yeah, I can see the appeal for sure. Because, like, as you said, everything is consolidated. So instead of, like, you having a ManyVids account, an OnlyFans account, and, like, another fan page or subscription site, it's all under one roof, basically.
I mean, I do have a ManyVids and clips for sale just because I had those before AVN happened. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you're going to have customers in different areas.
Right.
Definitely put your eggs in more than one basket. I refuse to keep them all in one basket. Figure out what works for you, because not all sites will work for you.
Totally.
I remember my first night live streaming on AVN. I made a good bit of money. I was happy. Hadn't done that in a while, but that's because I've been so focused on all things worn lately. Mm-hmm. But, like, I know women that have had plenty of success with it, had a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers. So, I don't know. I love it. I love the platform. Have you heard of a podcast called Slutrepreneur?
I have. Yes. I haven't listened yet.
I may be on it in a month to talk about AVN as well. But I was part of their Facebook group. I think I was the only BDSM expert there. I have a feeling I was. Or I was the resident dom. But anytime any girls said anything about OnlyFans, I'm like, nah, fuck that. AVN Stars. And I'm like, here, you can message me and ask about it. And so all these girls did, and now I kind of regret it, because it's like, I wish I could just mass message all of you, and I can't. No. The group's gone anyway.
Aww.
And I'd be like, here's my link, you can look. And I actually was thinking, for the podcast, I could actually send you my referral link, and girls can sign up for AVN through my referral.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Absolutely. We'll plug that in at the very end of the show, which is probably soon. But yeah, absolutely. And if people want to check it out, because I know a lot of people are really curious about which platforms to check out and where to go, like, you seem like you'd be an awesome resource to call upon.
I'll leave it at the very end when I plug stuff. I have one extra surprise I'm going to do.
Oh, surprises. I also like surprises, so this is exciting. I can't wait. Okay, that's really, really awesome. And, like, I know I will have to double check this myself as well, because I still haven't. I'm kind of making a plan about where I want to go, but I'm also having a different, like, business plan as well about where I want to be putting my efforts. But this is like a really great basis, and also, like, you're really doing a good job at selling it, comparing it to OnlyFans for sure.
Hey, you want to sponsor me?
Well,
now, speaking of sponsors, payment. You can actually set it up where, of course, you have to have a minimum amount of money before you can pull out. I think it's either 100 or 120 minimum. Mm-hmm. You can have it set to pay you once a month, every 2 weeks, or even every week.
Right, yeah, for payouts and stuff, too.
So you don't have to wait a whole month for payout. I think mine is set to be every week, so it's like, if I do have the money, then boom, I can have that. Like, when it goes into your bank account, it doesn't say anything about AVN. It says, like, something ACH or something. Very inconspicuous, which is fantastic.
I like that. And it's good that you can have, like, those either weekly or bi-weekly and stuff directly taken out, because, of course, if you're applying to, it's either, like, if you're doing your taxes or if you're applying to buy a big piece of property or a car and stuff, all of that helps as well when you're, like, when banks need to do, like, a credit kind of check and stuff. So
I mean, when the banks look at it, they don't see anything AVN. They don't see your username. They see, like, obviously you have to put in your bank information. So your legal name has to be in it.
Yes.
So your legal name, something like ACH or something, but it doesn't say, hey, porn.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's protected that way.
Exactly. And that's something, I know OnlyFans has that too, or something like it, but that's just something I liked on top of that too.
Oh, yeah. That's super helpful and super handy as well. What about, like, when you're signing up for an account, if you remember, is there any crazy verification process as well? Or is it pretty standard? Like, you'll have to have a piece of your ID, or is there, like, a facial recognition thing? I know that, like, OnlyFans is doing that, but if you can remember.
I'm trying to remember. Most sites, like, they do, and I like how they set it up, it's fine. I think AVN does this too, where you have to give a picture of your ID, a selfie, and then a selfie of you holding that ID.
Oh, right, yeah. So, like how OnlyFans was before.
Pretty much, except, dear Lord, the last time I made an OnlyFans, it took me 5 attempts to be accepted. AVN, it only took me 1.
That's
I don't know
awesome.
what their facial recognition thing is, but it's awesome.
No, I had the same experience, especially when, if you rejoined OnlyFans recently, then they had that whole verification process with on Datto. Well, that took me 5 times.
Yeah, I heard it about 5 or 6 times, and I'm just like, ugh, I had that too. So
frustrating. Like, I don't want to really have to be, like, wasting my time doing that if I don't have to. No, thank you.
They kept saying, oh, we can't accept you because you provide direct contact with your fans. And it's like, isn't that what your site's for? I had to remove my Instagram link in order for them to accept me. I'm like, this is stupid. You asked for my Instagram, and then you're like, no, you can't directly contact your fans. No, OnlyFans, you let me do that anyway. No sense.
What about, like, restricted words or restrictions? You know, like, because OnlyFans, like, certain words are bleeped out, or, like, you can't send a message if you have those certain keywords, or, like, competitor sites.
AVN does have that, which I actually don't mind at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're typing out a message, like, if I try to say, I have family over, family's not allowed. You have to reword it, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain things you're not allowed, like, you're not allowed to post things that have blood, that have poop.
Okay.
Most of them are very common on clip sites to not be allowed to post.
Right.
That's normal. If you want to, put up a video of you, like going after your ass with a dildo, then, go for it. That's allowed. That's fine. Just as long as you're not, like, pooping and smearing it all over yourself, then no one cares.
Oh my gosh. So great. Okay, like, good to know. I mean, it's similar in that aspect for sure with a lot of the clip sites and subscription sites. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to that?
I'm trying to think. When you do your audio, your clips, your photos, whatever, it allows you to pick 2 categories. Mm-hmm. And some categories aren't very specific. There's some that aren't allowed, that aren't in there. But I mean, like, I have a pet play video. They don't have a pet play category.
Right.
But I could put a leather video, and they're like, oh, okay, it's a leather video. That's cool.
Right. Okay, cool. This is good to know. Like, I think I'm just going to have to play around with it as well.
Pretty easy to get around. There's, like, some things you kind of discover as you go along. And I've heard there's YouTube videos about hidden features that I'm going to look at some point.
Oh, cool.
Of course, you can have it linked to Twitter. You can have your things sent over to Twitter, and it's perfectly fine.
Oh,
I'm trying to think what else. There's just so many things.
There's so many things.
But all the good things.
Yeah, no, you've done a great job at selling it, so I'm definitely curious to give it a go, too. Just, like, for me, what's selling it is, like, having everything all in one place.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's a really great feature to have. It saves so much time.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And, I mean, I do recommend, like, you could have more than one clip store somewhere, like a mini-vids, a clips for sale. I would recommend doing that, just, spread it out, see what happens, but I wouldn't do more than one fan site just because fan sites are a lot to keep up with.
Yes, so much work.
I schedule my posts to post 3 times a day on AVN and Twitter and Instagram.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It really is. And it's like, when I had my OnlyFans, I just posted up stuff like paid to the wall or whatever. And I was like, screw it. I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to schedule posts for this because, 1, I don't care. And 2, no. Because I already have enough going on with 2 social medias and my AVN Stars, which basically you can treat it kind of like a Twitter. Mm-hmm. Like, you can put statuses, polls, pictures. OnlyFans had that too, but it's like, anything OnlyFans sucks to me.
Well, you make a great point there in terms of like you don't need to have every single subscription site. Like if you want to diversify, then I would probably recommend having like maybe one subscription site, maybe having a clip site, maybe having an account for like used things, and maybe one for live streaming. But although live streaming is on most of these platforms, but like it just depends on where you want to go and what kind of work you do. So,
maybe one that you can do like phone sex or sexting. I know those exist. I'm thinking about getting back on one of those.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend more than one fan site. I mean, even not AVN, I'm talking so much about it. Many Vids, I don't even do their fan site. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. I just don't want to keep up with it.
Yeah.
Because I had I've heard many Vid, their MV Crush. I've heard it's pretty good, but I just personally don't do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just don't. So if you want to try it, you have at it.
Totally. And I mean, if you are in the position where you can, you know, financially afford an assistant to maintain all of this upkeep because it's a lot of work, then do it. I do not. Yes, swrolodex.com. We love that website. We love Dalma. We're big fans.
Well, price yourself out and just do it yourself like I do.
Or that too. Well, there are a few questions that came in from the audience. Just a few here. So I think it's time for that if we wanted to move on over. So I know that you mentioned this earlier, and I think I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to it, but the question is, do you offer any in-person sessions?
I get asked that a lot, so I'm wondering if that's a slave that's asking. No, I don't.
Or not yet. Who knows?
Not yet. Maybe one day, but if you live on the other side of the world, I mean, good luck to you.
Yeah. Good luck. This is a good question. I think, what is your opinion on public shaming / public humiliation?
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Don't do it. There's a good reason behind it. So, like, you see in the newspapers when, I remember seeing a newspaper article a long time ago of, like, this girl leading her guy on a leash through a grocery store, how that caused a lot of uproar.
Yeah, that was Mistress Lark in LA. I saw that, too, last year. I was like, whoa.
Well, you know, and the biggest thing with BDSM and kink is consent. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you've gotten consent from your slave to do it. However, if you're out in public doing this, none of the people walking by have consented.
Yes.
And even, like, I think of the grocery store thing. Even if you somehow manage to get consent from every single person there are also children. Mm-hmm. Children can't consent.
Right.
So, like, the closest I could think to public shaming or humiliation, maybe my husband and I might do a little jabbing joke to each other. Mm-hmm. But we're not a big, obvious thing. It's just me and him being dicks to each other like we normally are.
Totally.
Like, you can simulate it. I actually made a video. I had a guy request for me to wear jeans in public and squat down to show my butt crack and see how other people react to it.
Okay.
Here too. And I flat was like, look, I'm going to simulate it. I'm not going to actually do it because they didn't consent. So my husband actually played the bystander in that video.
Oh.
It's not... he's the only one that has it. I won't resell it. That's fine. But, I mean, you can simulate it for videos. I wouldn't recommend doing it in real life, though, just because there is all that you did not get consent from people.
Totally. Yeah. I feel the same way. Like, they're not, like, other bystanders and other people, like, they're not consenting to be in your scene with you.
Well, and in the case of Mistress Larkin in LA, it's a little more commonplace for kinky stuff to be seen out in public because it's LA.
Yeah.
Oh, heck no.
No.
Like, you just wearing platform boots somewhere, I get looks. So.
Yeah.
It's not, like, I guess it depends on the city, but for the most part, I would not recommend public shaming or humiliation. You can role play it in, like, a session or a video, but definitely don't go out and do it.
Yeah. Practice that with caution, peoples.
Consent is key.
Consent is sexy.
Yes.
Okay. This question is, what has been your craziest request?
Oh, this is perfect. I just talked to Doma about this one.
Oh, good.
So, on All Things Warm, I had a guy. He messaged me. I call him the Druid.
Okay.
And you're about to find...
Uh-oh.
Oh, this one's so fucking weird. But this guy, he was talking about he's wanting to buy some clothes for Monique.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, who's Monique?
Yeah.
And he said that he bought her because, he's been hurt so many times in the past, so I think she's a sex doll. I don't know. I'm just thinking she's a sex doll.
Okay.
And he talked about how, he likes doing horror special effects and all this, but then was like, I am a druid, I practice magic, and I'm wanting to get these clothes with your essence, and for you to have an orgasm in them, because I gave him a thong, pants, socks, and boots.
Oh.
And that he was going to use that in a ceremony to bring Monique to life.
What?
Quite honestly, hold on, it gets juicier, strap in.
Okay.
I did it because I thought it was a Dungeons and Dragons roleplay. And I play Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm like, yeah. I made about $150 off this guy. So, I'm not... and everything was great. And then down the line, he was like, could you do some custom photos for me? It's like, yeah, sure. What do you want? He basically wanted me to have a circle of candles, burn incense,
what?
be in the circle, orgasm in my thong and pants, and then say this enchantment that he sent me. And it's like,
Whoa.
I knew how to fake it.
Yeah.
I'll explain how I did it. I wouldn't obviously don't scam people, but this kind of shit I wasn't going to actually do. So, I could do a custom audio of that if you want. Because then it's if it's a custom audio, I just have to say it.
Yeah, you just have to verbalize it.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I could do that. It's like, okay, we'll do that. What I actually did, we do burn incense anyway. Mm-hmm. So, I took off the clothes, put it right next to our incense burner, and went to bed. We basically hotboxed the clothes with incense. So, and then we real quick, got really dark and creepy. I actually had another buyer approach me concerned, because he's like, this guy's giving, messages about suicide.
Oh,
and I'm like,
whoa.
And I asked this guy, I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, it doesn't matter now. Everything's in motion. And all this. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. Your stuff's on its way. He's like, it doesn't matter that it's nice.
What?
And I didn't hear from him anymore. And it's like, okay.
Whoa, that is totally weird.
Probably about a week ago, I happened to be looking through my email, and I looked at my spam, and I have an email from this guy. I thought he had killed himself that night. And 2 days later, he had sent me an email. It went to spam, so I didn't see it till another 2 days. He is thanking me for all this, and is like, your essence will be what's the word he used? Very helpful in bringing my Monique back to life, because he also wanted to buy a shirt and a bra for me, but didn't have the money for it. And he's like, I will get back in touch with you about buying the rest of the outfit. Oh, keep your essence flowing. And it's like, and I asked him, he said something about they don't understand, because he got banned from the site.
Oh.
I mean, I reported him too, because I'm like, dude, he's talking about suicide. I don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, totally.
They don't understand. They did this and that. And I'm like, okay, who the hell is they? What the hell are you talking about? Are you alive? I've not heard from him since.
Whoa, that is really elaborate. I had not heard of any story like that yet.
I never had either until this happened. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Oh my God.
I have friends that they do the whole witchy magic thing. That's not my thing, but more power to you. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, this spell wouldn't work because you need to have someone of pure heart, and he doesn't know you. And I'm like, look, I didn't even do the ceremony. He thinks I did. I put it next to the incense and left it and went to bed. Like, hell, if he wanted a custom video, I was going to find a way to fake it because I would.
You weren't down for that.
It's like with Ouija boards. I don't know whether or not that happens. I'm not about to test it.
No thanks.
It's just a cult.
Totally. Oh my god, that's so wild. Thank you so much for sharing. That's like next level kind of shit.
No, trust me. Otherwise, besides him, I wouldn't have really thought of anything until this happened. It's like, what the hell did I do?
It's never a dull moment in sex work.
Like $150. It's like, was this worth it?
Well, I mean, the last question is kind of similar in the same vein. So not craziest request, but like, is there anything you won't do?
Yep, there are definitely things I will not do.
Right.
I don't go nude.
Mm-hmm.
I do not show off the shrine. I think we can tell what the shrine is.
Mm-hmm.
No, I will not masturbate on camera. I have a video where I simulated it, but I'm wearing clothes and it's the fakest orgasm I could ever think of. It's amazing.
Win an award for that. Oh, you can win an award for that.
It was actually my husboy's idea, and he filmed it. And he was like, "Did you actually come?" No, I didn't.
I'm just a good actress.
I'm an amazing actress, yes. I actually had a client tell me that. He's like, you're an amazing actress. Thanks. But, I mean, I'm not going to do anything involving pee or poop because, oh God, no thank you.
Yeah.
Age play, I know people that do it. I've talked with a client or two about it. It's not my thing. There's nothing wrong with it. If that's what you like, the whole age play, diaper fetish, ABDL.
Yeah.
I'm kink shaming. If you love it, go for it. That's just not my thing.
Totally. Whatever floats your boat, right? And everyone I know has boundaries, so.
Well, I always think as long as you're not getting hurt or you're not hurting someone else non-consensually, then, because if you want to hurt someone with consent, then by all means. But, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else or breaking the law, then, go for it. Have your fetish about daisies or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's a fetish, but it probably is.
That'll be episode 104. No, daisy fetish.
My strange addiction. I'm addicted to daisies.
Well, with that being said, where can we find you?
Everywhere. Anyway. I'm just fucking with it. Okay. Twitter and Instagram under Caged Quail, like a quail in a cage. Mm-hmm. Pretty much Caged Quail or Mistress Quail Avara, you will find me. Because who else is named Quail?
I was going to say, I was like, quail like the bird?
Yep, exactly. Quail like the bird.
There we go.
I'm on AVN Stars, that's Mistress Quail Avara, many vids, clips for sale. All Things Worn, also under Caged Quail. And speaking of my AVN, I was talking about my little surprise.
Oh, yes. Surprise. It's time.
Yes. So, obviously, I'm going to give you my referral code so people can use it. If you, the listener, if you use that code, I want you to message me on AVN saying that you came from this podcast. I will give you a free month subscription to my AVN.
Ooh. This is enticing.
So that, you can kind of get an idea, because I know some people are like, learn by example. That's how I do anything. Mm-hmm. It's like, you can see what you can do. If you want to ask me any questions, you can. And like I said, if you want femdom training, SW Rolodex, I am there. I'm the only femdom trainer.
Yes.
Yes. Looking like the slutty secretary.
Oh, so many goodies. Quail, it was so nice to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Well, it was nice being on the show. I'm so happy to have been on here and had this wild, fun adventure with you.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was such a great conversation about, like, humiliation, all the type of work that you do in the BDSM community, how you hate OnlyFans. I love it. I loved it. It was such a good chat, and I'm so thankful for you to take the time every day to come chat with me and the audience. So thank you. And for everyone else listening, don't forget, it's new episodes every single Sunday at midnight, and it's Strip by Sia on Twitter, Strip by Sia on Instagram, and it's also my personal, which is Sia Steph on Instagram. And we'll catch everyone in for a brand new episode next Sunday. Thank you, Quail.
Bye, guys.
Bye. You're listening to Strip by Sia, hosted, produced, and edited by Steph Sia, artwork by Maria Bellandarama, music by Ted D, and photography by Ian Dabburn.